Hello, everyone. I am Amber Irwin, co-founder of Social Speak Network. I am so excited today to have our video expert, G, on the show with us today. Hello, G.
Hello, hello.
How are you?
Good, good. As mentioned before, enjoying the great California weather and doing good.
Wonderful. Well, we have, as you all know, we talk about videos a lot and how important they are to your digital marketing strategy, especially after our wonderful year of 2020. I think people really realized how important they are, and you have to have them. So we brought G on. We have some questions we're going to ask him today. So G, tell us a little bit about you and your business, and then we'll dive into the questions.
Yeah, sure. So my name is G. It's short for Goggin. I have been in the creative agents industry for over, I would say, 11 plus years now. And my background has been graphics and web design, but seeing how marketing was going and where my team was building, we started a video production company. And I've been in that industry for going on 6 years now. We just had our 5th year anniversary last month. So yeah, I mean, my company's name is Bco Creative Agency. And yeah, we do story-based advertising. We do a lot of commercial work. We do YouTube, Vimeo. We do videos for tech companies. We do videos for sports companies. We do a huge range of our clients, but primarily focusing on the tech world, on healthcare, and startups and things of that nature. So yeah, that's us.
Awesome. Oh, that's so exciting. And
Yeah,
so let's just jump into it. First
sure.
question, why is video so important to a client's digital marketing strategy?
I have a kind of a long-winded answer on this. So,
I thought
um,
that'd be the case.
yeah, I mean, so my personal philosophy and Biko's personal philosophy is always in kind of 4 parts and how I kind of break it down. Um, and we've turned a lot of our clients away because they don't have these 4 elements before they work with us. And those 4 elements are branding, website, content creation, and advertising. We kind of build that marketing house with our partners that we have. But those things are essential for the success for our clients. So branding, which branding and website are absolutely foundational. So if our clients do not have that, we actually partner with other marketing agencies such as yourself,
Right.
to handle that part of it. So without good branding and a good website, your content creation, which was where we play in the marketing world of video, that video cannot go as far without the proper foundational elements when it comes to marketing. So with that in mind, you're doing yourself injustice if you don't have the proper content strategy. And video is most efficient and easiest to consume, the most easiest to consume marketing tool out there to reach your clients.
Yeah.
Video video of having video is more important than having reading materials or photos. And it's still the most effective way to market your audience, to understand your messaging.
Mhm.
And I believe it was Hootsuite who put out a stat from last year stating a survey that said about 70% of consumers would rather watch a video about your product.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, if you're trying to reach your audience in the most effective way, then videos is absolutely enormously important.
Yes, definitely. And I like how you start with the foundation because a lot of people jump in, they don't have that strategy behind it, and they want to create a video. And with that one video, they want 50,000 views overnight. And it's just not going to happen unless you have, $1 million to spend on ads. And even then, you know, it may not happen. So when you have a video, so going into question 2, how often should you update your videos on your website? So let's say they have the website, they're building that foundation. A lot of people spend money on videos for their website, but they're outdated. How often should you be updating them?
Yeah, this is actually a really hard question to answer. Um, the probably the right answer is it depends.
Right.
But I know people probably don't like hearing that. But because it's so specific to your industry and whatever campaigns you have out, what time of year you've been posting things, right?
Right.
It depends also on what type of videos are on your website and where. For example, an intro video about your company might last longer. Than say your fall collection of your clothing line would, right?
Right.
There's a
Yeah.
time limit on it.
Mhm.
I would say as a blanket statement, you should update your videos on your site as often as you can or
Mhm.
need to. I personally do not believe in evergreen content, even though some videos might last longer than others. The questions to that question I would ask is, are your clients changing? Are your clients' interests
Right.
changing? Are your audiences consuming the same video over and over again and not seeing, or are seeing a drop in a watch rate or conversion? I mean, if you answered yes to any of those questions, then the answer is probably it's time to update your video, and your marketing agency or your marketing experts that you trust should have access to your analytics, and they should be able to tell you when time is due for a new video.
Definitely. And that makes sense. And a lot of it is industry based. So that's a great point that you bring up. And so is it okay to record your own videos for social media use? Do you think there's a difference between video quality on social media and website? Can you speak to us a little bit on that?
I mean, generally speaking, like I actually get this question asked a lot. Generally speaking, I believe not only is it okay, but sometimes even needed. I
Okay.
mean, having you record video from your perspective gives you and your company character and personality. But I also believe your customers need to know that you are legitimate and your product is or service is worth it, and that's why you are a professional, right? So there has to be a mix of the two. The heart of this question usually stems from, do I need a video production company in the first place? Can I do it myself, right?
Right.
And my answer to that is usually, yeah, to try it. If you need it to be cost effective, then do it. Equipment is more and more affordable nowadays. But I would also say the majority of businesses or professionals who have come to us usually have tried to film themselves or
Right.
have worked with less experienced video production companies. And currently, that's where I'll leave it at for that
Yeah.
question there.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And so when a company is, that maybe they've had a company in the past or they're doing their own stuff, at what point or what types of videos should they really think about hiring a professional company as yourselves? Like when do you know it's that time?
Yeah. I mean, when you sent me these questions over, hiring a professional videographer is how you worded it, and I kind of wanted to, um, I part of it, as I believe I partly answered this question above as well, but I want to preface my answer by kind of defining the difference between a
Yeah.
professional videographer and a video production company or agency. And a videographer by definition is one person, right? And
Yeah.
a videographer is someone who usually operates a camera. But what about a editor? What about a script writer? A lot of people do these things all in one. There are a lot of one man bands out there that wear a lot of these hats, which is great, and no knock against anyone who is hustling and grinding in that way. But generally those relationships are not long lasting because they are usually looking for the next gig or cannot stretch their capacity to make the types of videos or content that you might want out. You know, what is going to happen? What's going to happen when you have to operate two cameras? What's going to happen when you need a faster turnaround? And this person has multiple projects, you know, asking the same thing, right? So, you know, think about this: when you see credits to the next show or movie that you watch, granted, a lot of businesses are not creating Hollywood blockbusters, you know, but think about how many tasks and experts are out there, you know, that need to complete this show or movie. Yeah. There's a reason why a commercial or show or movie have teams and teams of people. Yeah. You know, if you're expecting a videographer to handle 0.01% of those tasks, you are sacrificing something somewhere, you know.
Yeah. But that brings up
whether that be speed, cost, quality, or output. Those one-man bands that are producing at a high level, you know, are very rare, right? So the difference in working with the video production company is that you are working with the video team. You know, we are a production company. We hire for specific duties before we ever roll, you know, the camera, and they range from director level to editors or animation teams, you know, and we've already taken the time to kind of connect with the assets or resources to produce at a high level, or, you know, get your message across and connect with your audience. So to answer your question, so when to hire, right? You know, it is when you have tried it yourself, when you have worked with the one-man band and the message is not coming across as needed, or when you need your product or service to be thrown out in a wider net, you know, when you are ready to spend advertising dollars. You know, these are just some of the wins. You know, you should hire those professionals, but the real answer is as soon as possible, right? Because most likely your competitors are doing video. You know, 50% of your audience is online daily, and 70% of America is online weekly. You know, and those numbers are specifically during the pandemic. You know, video is becoming more and more of a need rather than a nice to have, you know, due to the ease of access of info. And you want to get your message out there again quickly and in the most effective way.
Yep. And I think, you know, you bring up a great point as far as that team, because if anyone has tried to edit their own videos, oh my gosh, it's painful. And that alone, you know, is a lot. And it's just, as you're hiring a digital marketing team, it's not just me at Social Speak. We have a whole team of people that have that special niche in what they do. And so video production is no different. And I think that sometimes can get people, they can be a little scared to jump into it, because they as soon as they hear video, they think dollar signs. But if you break it down to those videos that they are producing, if it's able to bring them in patients or clients or customers in their door, then it pays for themselves, you know? And so I think that's something that people really need to think of. And with video being as big as it is, and it's not going anywhere. And I think, you know, the pandemic really showed that it's even more important, because that's how people are connecting. And so if you've been putting it off, the time is now to do it. And so how do you think that these videos help streamline a company's brand? I know we've talked a few things about it already, but how do you think that having these professional videos done is going to help grow a company's brand?
Yeah. So, I mean, as you mentioned, you know, we've talked about some of the elements already. You know, based on the stats that are out there, you know, again, like the 50% of your audience is online daily, and 70% of America is like online weekly. I mean, but to streamline is by definition is to be the most effective, right? And your consumers want an easy way to consume. You know, whichever company takes it easy or makes it easy rather, or is more visually engaging, or company, you know, is effective in conveying their brand messaging is going to win, you know. And to be quite honest, the video can do all of that. To have videos in your strategy, I would say is streamlining your business, like, and your brand itself. Like, to have video is the streamline, you know, to be more effective, to reach your audience. Isn't that what you want to do, you know,
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
oh my God, I love technology. There you go.
Yeah, so
But
it
yeah,
really builds, adding that, again, kind of going back to that question one of the foundation. You have your website, you have your social media, you start with your logo and your brand colors and all of that, and then adding the video into the mix. It really allows your brand to step outside the box and just be, live its fullest potential, adding in these different types of videos.
right. Absolutely. I mean, actually, there was one point I wanted to kind of go back on. You
Yeah,
mentioned like dollar signs on the previous question,
right.
and my immediate thought process was, also like, what is the opportunity cost of not having video, right?
Exactly.
You know, again, those competitors are out there doing it,
Yeah.
and going back to streamlining, those things go hand in hand, like you want to get your message out and, show the product or service that you have to the world. That is the most effective way. And if you're not doing that, then you're missing out on something there,
Yeah.
it's just the way it's having video is truly, I think, just part of streamlining your business.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So we've talked a little bit about how the pandemic, people learning like that they need video. How has it affected the filming process? And is it something that businesses need to worry about? Or, how does, if they say, okay, yep, we need to do video right now, I'm ready to hire a team. How has the pandemic played a role in the filming process?
Yeah, so this definitely is a topical question, obviously. The film industry has taken a hit, because of filming is such an art form that it thrives off collaboration, right?
Totally.
The fact that you have to gather and film, the pandemic has made filming obviously very difficult. Um, and we were stuck in that same way very early last year as well. And I was lucky enough to have partners who had specific insight early on the pandemic, which led us to think, how to counter that. We have certain protocols now that help us, gather and film. But what inspired us to make these protocols was actually Apple. They were continuing their famous, keynotes, but converted to videos instead of having like live audiences attend. People who know me personally, I'm a huge fan of Apple.
Yeah.
So of course I watched their pandemic presentation, of their latest, greatest releases. But what intrigued me was their end credits, which also specified how they filmed their pandemic keynotes. So I looked at those and thought of those precautions that they took. And to be quite honest, they're not hard or difficult to execute. So our protocols essentially became the same as Apple's. We took those and the ordinances that were made by our county in Santa Clara and our industry, and merged with those with the Apple's. And out came BCO's protocols. So I guess my final advice would be, when you are looking to hire a video professional or a production team, to be safe, is ask for their safety protocols, right?
Right.
The last thing you want is your marketing efforts to kind of lead to health problems,
Yeah.
which,
Yeah.
that obviously is not a one-to-one there. So there are plenty of other high stress situations specifically that come to marketing. But COVID should definitely not be one of
Not
them.
be one.
So,
Definitely. So my last
yeah.
bonus question for you, as
Mhm.
people are recording and doing their own videos, I know like the iPhones are great quality. We use Zoom a lot for our interviews. What types of tools or tips can you give people that are recording on their own?
So this goes actually not even to people who are doing it themselves, but even you know camera operators or directors that are coming up, is focus less on the equipment that you have and focus more on the story that you're trying to tell. Because as you mentioned, like, literally every camera phone that's out there has a great and amazing camera on it, you know. So
Mhm.
it's hard to kind of mess up on the camera, you know, the lenses that you have that at your
Yeah.
disposal. um, the only thing, as if it does come to equipment, and it does come to what it looks like in front of the lens, is
Mhm.
is definitely focused more on the lighting aspect of it, right?
Okay.
If something is less lit, then it's just harder and less appealing. You know, you want something that is either dramatically lit or well lit.
Okay.
Generally, those, from what I've experienced, they go further as far as likes go on your Instagram. You know,
Yeah.
I think there was another stat by Hootsuite that said people are more likely to like a clearer, more well lit picture versus the opposite, right? So
Right.
focus on story, and make sure you have good lighting. And yeah, like use your phone.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I love
Yeah.
it. So, G, how can people find you? What is your website for people to reach out to you and hire you in the team?
Yeah. So our website is THE Beco Agency. So the becoagency.com. You can see all of our portfolio work. You can reach us out there on that website. Or if you have social media, it is at BCO Agency. So Beco Agency, and that's across literally all platforms. That is our handle.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate your time today. And I know that people that are listening to this definitely took some amazing points away. And I hope that they realize just in this day and age, you can't resist video anymore. It has to be a part of your digital marketing strategy. And, you know, there's so many possibilities with videos. If you have a staff, if you have an office, there's just the possibilities are limitless. You know, there's so many things you can do and you can really get creative with this. And that's the piece I love about video so much is the creativity. So I appreciate you being on and sharing your story and your tips with us. We really do appreciate it.
No, thank you for having me on. It's a
Thank
pleasure.
you.